You know that feeling, right? You're in a conversation, maybe with family or friends, and you hit a crossroads. You can either say what you really think is true, or you can just keep the peace. It's this classic, absolutely timeless conflict, and today we're going to dive right into this thinker's dilemma. Our source material for this explainer just nails it. It says belief gives us peace, but a lot of the time it comes at the expense of hard truth. On the flip side, doubt? Well, doubt can give you clarity, but it can also stir up a lot of trouble, both for you and the people around you. See, to believe in something is like a handshake. It's a gesture of trust. But to question it, that creates friction, and that friction can really strain our relationships. And that really brings us to the heart of the matter. Do we actually have to choose? It's a tough spot to be in, isn't it? If you chase the truth, you might end up alone. But if you prioritize harmony, you might have to look the other way and ignore what's real. So let's get into it. Okay, first up, let's talk about the incredible pull of belief. Why is it that our default setting so often is just to go with the flow, to find that cozy comfort in agreeing with everyone else? The author of our source has a great term for this, the fixity of the mind. You can think of it like a mental anchor. It's this deep-seated commitment to our beliefs that gives us a sense of stability and peace. And it's not just for us as individuals, it helps keep our social groups together too. So why does this happen? Well, this slide breaks down the why beautifully. First off, there's anxiety. I mean, let's be real, our brains just hate uncertainty. Questioning things opens up a whole Pandora's box of what-ifs. And second, there's this idea of selfism. I love that term. It's our gut-level attachment to our stuff, our beliefs, our traditions. So when someone challenges those things, it feels like they're attacking us. It almost feels like a betrayal of who we are. And what this image shows so well is that this isn't just something happening inside our own heads. Society actually builds these massive structures, things like religion, culture, tradition, that are designed to keep this mental fixity in place. These frameworks are literally there to discourage ideas that rock the boat and to reward conformity. But, of course, there is another path. It's the one that requires you to make a conscious choice to step away from all that comfort. So let's shift gears and explore what it takes to have the courage to doubt, what our source calls the path of the heretic. This comparison is just perfect. Over on the left, you've got that fixity of mind. It's stable, it feels safe, but it's often stuck in the past and, let's face it, pretty ego-driven. But then on the right, you have a flexible mind. This is what allows you to adapt and grow. It looks toward the future, and this is the big one. It fosters intellectual humility. And, this whole idea has some seriously deep philosophical roots. I mean, René Descartes himself made doubting the absolute cornerstone of existence. So the act of questioning, it's not a weakness. It's literally the engine of thought and self-awareness. And the author of our source material just leans right into this idea. They say, I am, at the cost of my negligible reputation, free to risk being wrong or insane. I like being a heretic. It is authentically and neurologically rebellious. It's this idea that being a heretic is refreshing. It's a spark that can get other people to question their own fundamental assumptions. But let's get real for a second. This whole path of rebellion and doubt, it's not exactly a walk in the park. It comes with a pretty steep price, a cost that the heretic definitely has to pay. And this friction is very, very real. I'm sure you've felt it. When you start questioning those deeply held beliefs, whether it's with your family, your friends, or your coworkers, it puts a huge strain on those relationships. It can lead to arguments, misunderstandings, and honestly, a pretty profound sense of being all alone.
And the stakes here can be unbelievably high. The ancient philosopher Hypatia of Alexandria warned everyone about the dangers of letting superstitions pass as truths, and that warning ultimately cost her her life.
And sadly, she wasn't the only one. Just think about Galileo, forced by the church to take back his own scientific discoveries. History is filled with thinkers who dared to challenge the status quo and became martyrs for a simple thing: reason. So this brings this whole dilemma right back to our doorstep, because this isn't some abstract debate for philosophers to argue about. It's an ongoing, personal journey that every single one of us has to figure out every single day. I absolutely love this quote from our source because it just perfectly captures the balancing act we have to perform. A life of mistrust is even more expensive. Think about that. The truth is found in exploring without blind faith, but our well-being, our health, is found in trust.
So the goal isn't to just stop trusting everyone and everything, but to find that middle ground where we can question and verify while still keeping our sanity and our connections.
So, okay, how do we actually do this in the real world? Well, our source gives us a pretty practical toolkit. Step 1, question things with an open mind. Step 2, be able to entertain an idea without having to immediately accept it as your own. Step 3, embrace the fact that you don't know everything. That's intellectual humility. And finally, step 4, have the guts to risk being wrong.
And so, we end up right back where we started, facing this fundamental choice. And it's not a choice you make just once. It's one we make over and over and over again. The whole journey of the mind kicks off with this very question. So I'll leave you with it to think about. Which will you pursue? Peace or truth?